You're watching Alaska's news source.
Coming up on the morning edition, the search continues for a man in Soldotna who Alaska State Troopers say is armed and dangerous and was last seen leaving a property that was fully engulfed in flames over the weekend.
Relatives of ours, that is the theme for the 39th Annual Elders and Youth Conference that's underway. A time for generations to come together from all over the state.
And when you hear the name Balenciaga, you can bet there's quite the price tag tied to it and more than likely an unusual design. Details on a leather chip bag inspired by Lay's as the morning edition starts now. Oh my goodness.
What will they think of next?
Don't tell me this is another piece of trash being sold as a luxury
Literally,
item.
yeah. On the fashion runway, it's a chip bag as a purse, I think.
It reminds me of that one thing that went viral several years ago. It looked like it was a coat hanger. It looked like it came from the dry cleaners. I don't know if you remember that.
Was it Balenciaga? Probably.
Was.
Well, good morning, everyone. On this Monday, starting into a new week, what are we looking like weather-wise?
Now, we got scattered showers across south central. Temperatures certainly on the warmer side as we step outside. We're seeing many areas well above freezing. We're going to continue that trend here over the next several days. So we're going to catch a break from those slick conditions we saw for a good portion of last week. 40 is where we're currently sitting at with winds remaining on the calmer side. Now, what we are going to see is a chance for some scattered showers sticking around for a good portion of the day. Already seeing some rain out in Talkeetna as well as Valdez. Cordova, the warm spot at 46 degrees this morning, 39 in Kenai, 43 in Wasilla. Most of the rain that we continue to see is staying confined to coastal regions of south central out towards Prince William Sound as well as Seward. In fact, from Seward out towards Prince William Sound, we'll easily see anywhere from about half an inch to an inch of rainfall for the remainder of your Monday. Putting the radar in motion, you can see just how scattered the activity is, maybe some spotty coverage through the valley out towards western portions of the Susitna Valley. We've got rain in Valdez as well as Cordova. And all of us are going to see this periodic activity staying with us for a good portion of the day. Of course, we'll have some dry time, much like the Anchorage Bowl as well as inland areas of South Central is seeing for the first part of the morning. Temperatures today warming back into the mid to upper 40s. If you enjoyed the warmth yesterday, we are again going to see that today. However, that is a cause for concern as temperatures are about 5 to 6 degrees above where they should be for this time of year. And we're going to stay like that for a large portion of this week before cooler weather is set to make a return. So scatter showers are expected to stay with us through the day. We'll see that activity taper off overnight into tomorrow before ramping right back up as we keep this periodic activity with us. And again, those temperatures are expected to stay on the warmer side. I'll let you know when we're going to see some cooler weather.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Well, the search continues this morning for a man Alaska State Troopers say is armed and dangerous.
This all started after Soldotna police and AST spent much of the weekend searching for a man they're calling a person of interest. On Saturday, troopers responded to a call on Lourdes Avenue off Funny River Road where a home was fully engulfed. The occupants of that house were able to escape.
But troopers and Soldotna police are looking for this man, 62-year-old Ronald Dean Bayering, who they say was seen leaving the property. Bayering is 5 feet 9 inches tall, 140 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. Troopers say he is considered armed and dangerous and should not be approached. If anyone in the area has seen someone matching the description, call the Soldotna Dispatch Center at 907-262-4453 or 911.
Back here in Anchorage, police are asking for the public's help finding a woman who has been missing for 10 days.
Friends and family are still searching for answers of what might have happened to Faith Rasmussen. Tracy Sinclair has more.
Friends, family, and members of the community came together Saturday morning to search.
Faith liked to spend her days walking and listening to music. She was just such a happy, joyful person.
It was as she was headed out for one of those walks that 39-year-old Faith Rasmussen was last seen on October 5th.
We know that she had 2 main routes that she liked to cover, so we're hoping to search those 2 routes just to see if we can find any evidence of what might have happened to Faith.
About 30 people, including a search and rescue team, showed up at Turnigan Elementary to systematically move through the forest looking for any sign of Rasmussen.
Always watch your foot. Please keep your eye on the ground. Yeah, when we first began planning this, it was family and close friends. And we really appreciate people on social media, people putting up flyers who got the word out and showed up to help us look today. It's really appreciated by Faith's family and friends.
When Rasmussen was last seen, she was carrying a black satchel and wearing a fluffy white jacket with black hearts that looked like cowhide and red high-top canvas shoes.
We just want to say thank you to everyone who has helped for the search and who has been positive and kind to Faith.
If you have any information about the whereabouts of Faith Rasmussen or you've seen any of those items that she was wearing that day, call APD at 311.
Federal assistance is making its way to Southwest Alaska after that devastating storm in mid-September. FEMA housing inspectors went to Bethel and St. Michael this weekend to help residents apply for assistance and answer questions.
If you weren't able to complete the registration, we have details and how you can apply or assistance online or by phone. You'll find that story on our website on alaskasnewssource.com.
It's a time for generations to come together and learn from each other. The 39th annual statewide Elders and Youth Conference kicks off.
Lex Shelverton reports on an event over the weekend at the Alaska Native Heritage Center that helped get things started.
Welcome to the warming of the hand ceremony. This annual gathering brings together elders and youth from across Alaska. This year's theme is Relatives of Ours.
We like to tell people that if you want to know what's happening in our Native community, talk to our elders and talk to our youth. So this is one of our favorite times of year where we create space to live, love, and grow who we are as Native people.
Ayu Kasatok says it's a way of helping them remember that they are all in relation to each other across the state. She explained that Alaskans are not always taught about Native cultures and practices in school, so this is a great way to be connected to the lands, waters, animal relatives, among other things in their homelands.
To learn our languages, to learn our ceremonies, to engage in deep dialogues and conversations about what's happening in our communities. And it's also just an amazing time to celebrate who we are as Native people.
As the day brings both the youth and elders together, conference guides Samuel and Gabe were able to give some insight on what the youth can gain from this experience.
Taking all of their collective experiences, all of the trials and tribulations that they just share so willingly. I mean, it's really grounding for me in order to interact with everybody. I mean, the elders, yes, but also the youth, too, how free they are and how willing they are to give you every bit of their love.
Now that we can gather again in person, I feel like there's just this electric energy that is coming from meeting our family members and our friends and gathering together and being able to celebrate who we are and our culture. It feels so good.
While the youth try to gain as much knowledge as they possibly can, elders like 80-year-old Pete Komkoff believe it's important for elders to pass knowledge on to the younger generations.
It's important that the elders that attend the meeting pass the knowledge that they gained over the years to the youth, so that the youth can pass it on to their.
To all youth, he says never quit learning. And if an elder ever tells you something, remember it, because it means something that you'll find out later in your life.
More than 100 speakers are expected during the 3.5-day conference.
Well, at the Midtown Mall this weekend, dozens gather to participate in the Fall Vendor Marketplace. If you're looking for something unique for your loved ones or even for yourself this Christmas season, the Fall Marketplace is a good place to start.
It features local small businesses and crafters and has an array of items to buy, from crochet to beaded jewelry to Alaska Native art and kids' toys. This year's Fall Vendor Marketplace has something for everyone.
We have rotating vendors every weekend. Some people are here only specific weekends. So lots of different stuff that you can come and look at. And it's very important for crafters and small business owners to have an affordable place where they can come and set up.
The Fall Vendor Marketplace is an opportunity for local Alaskan small businesses to build their brands and business in an affordable place. The market is open until December 24th and is located in the mall hallways on Saturdays and Sundays.
Nearly 24 Alaskan veterans made their way to the nation's capital with one goal in mind: to visit memorials that not only honor the time they served, but others who served with them.
Peter Zampa caught up with the group on the National Mall.
A rainy day in Washington, a day of reflection for Alaska's veterans. Most seen memorials for wars they fought in for the first time.
I almost cried. just seeing that whole thing. I'm sorry. Just to think about what we really sacrificed over there for those people.
An officer in Incheon for 2 years, the memories flow back for Lonnie Duncan, who now lives in Ketchikan. He thinks about his efforts in Korea and those of his fellow soldiers as he looks at the memorial that bears the names of those who died.
It was just doing something for somebody else, and we felt good about it while we were over there.
They're calling this Mission 15 for the Last Frontier Honor Flight. The 15th time these Alaska veterans are flying in a group to see these memorials erected in their honor.
It's brilliant. Anybody that puts this together knew what they were doing.
Orville Baker from Palmer served as a medic toward the end of the Korean War. He says the rainy D.C. day reminds him of being in Korea. Cold and wet. Baker remembers taking care of a lot of wounded people, soldiers and civilians. He's one of 2 Korean War veterans on the trip, 21 veterans total, making the journey. And Baker is happy to be in their company.
That's great. It's nice, they're friendly, it's fun to talk to them because we all have something in common.
In Washington, I'm Peter Zampa.
The Last Frontier Honor Flight returned back home Saturday morning.
Well, still ahead, cold and snowy or warm and rainy, or will this winter be a little bit of both?
We'll take an in-depth look at the La Nina pattern on the horizon and just what it means for Alaska's winter as the temperatures drop.
We're back here on a Monday, starting a new week, 13 minutes past the hour.
Now let's check in with Aaron to see what the work week is looking like.
Starting off the day, we've got some fairly quiet conditions across portions of South Central, but what we're going to watch as we head on through the day is that scattered activity once again building back into a good portion of the region. We're starting off this morning with those temperatures sitting in the upper 30s and the lower 40s for that bus stop forecast. And again, maybe some areas holding on to some fog potential. The good news is not as cold as what we've been dealing with. In fact, we're going to see that cold. We're going to put it off on the side for right now until we head into the weekend, where we are going to tap into some of those colder conditions. Overall, what we're going to be watching here over the next several days, really for the remainder of today, is some scattered activity, but that scattered chance for some rain showers, that's going to stay across a good portion of South Central here over the next several days. And then, of course, out towards southeast, we're still seeing some periodic rain showers as well. Across western Alaska near the Seward Peninsula, there is a mix of some wintry weather ongoing that's going to stick around through the day, some freezing rain, sleet, as well as rain. So take note of that and use caution, as we could see some slick conditions across western Alaska. But overall, we're going to continue to keep that chance for some rain in the forecast as we start off your Monday and really stick around for a large portion of this week. Those highs today back in the mid to upper 40s. There's that rain becoming very scattered in nature. We'll see some breaks in the clouds, much like we saw yesterday, as those temperatures once again are expected to warm back well above average for this time of year. So there's the rain showers you can see from southeast to south central. Of course, southeast going to see more of some dry time as we head into the afternoon, overnight hours before more rain builds back into the region. What we're watching is another strong area of low pressure that's going to move out of the Gulf of, or out of the Pacific Ocean into the Gulf of Alaska. This all comes as we head through the day Tuesday on into Wednesday. This area of low pressure taking more of an easterly track out towards Ringo St. Elias as well as southeast Alaska. That means that we're going to see most of our impacts towards coastal regions. Prince William Sound could see some gusty winds. We'll see some windy conditions out towards southeast as well as, of course, out towards the Kenai. Also watching for some windy conditions in the days ahead. As far as the rain itself, you can see we're sitting at our 4th consecutive month with rainfall itself sitting above average, and that trend is likely going to continue for the rest of October. As you can see, a large portion of the state continues to see that tilt towards wetter conditions. And, of course, that has been the trend, and we're going to continue to hold on to that for quite some time. Temperatures today warming back into the upper 50s and the lower 60s. We'll see anywhere from about 0.3 of an inch to an inch of rainfall with some breezy conditions expected for your Monday. 47 in Kenai, 46 in Seward. Heavier rain out towards Seward. Kodiak holding on to partly cloudy to partly sunny skies for you, with those temperatures warming near 50 degrees. We could see up to an inch of rainfall for portions of the Sound, 46 in Whittier, 45 in Valdez. Golconda seeing a high in the low to mid 40s. Notice those overnight lows, still fairly mild for this time of year. We could see some locations dip down into the 30s, but overall expect those warm mornings to stay with us. We could see a few areas seeing some slick spots in the days ahead, but overall we are going to stay fairly warm through at least a good portion of this week. Now, by Thursday night on into the weekend, that's when we begin to tap into some of those colder conditions, even a shot for some wintry weather as we head from Thursday on into Friday, and you can see those temperatures falling back into the 30s for highs with overnight lows in the 20s. That sunrise today coming in at 8:47. We got 6:40 for that sunset. 9 hours and 52 minutes of daylight, so scattered showers. It is warm. We are watching for that cooler weather to arrive into the weekend.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
You've probably heard it in the national news. This is the third La Nina winter in a row, but really, what does a little section of the Pacific Ocean near the equator have to